Hey everyone, I'm Karen and okay, hang on. Oh, you know what? I bought a new microphone. Let me try it out for you guys today. I keep forgetting to use it. Let's see if this helps while you guys start to join me. I'm gonna try a new mic. Can you guys hear me? I've never tried this. I guess you could hear me either way. Somebody tell me if you can hear me. Yes? No? Can you hear me? The fact that nobody's saying yes, I can hear you. Does that mean nobody can hear me? Hear me. Yay. Personal Rev, thank you so much for that. Cynthia, nice to have you here. Loud and clear. Awesome. I got this new mic, Danielle, so I'm hoping that, and it doesn't need a battery, which is my favorite thing. I've got a mic, lav mic that I've been using for years, but it always has a dead battery, always. So I've just invested in this new one. It's very cool, and it doesn't need a battery. It just plugs into my phone. The Smart Lav, yep, that's it. Anyway, so I'm back here today with something that is becoming quite popular with my tribe. What's the brand? Here's actually the box. Smart Lav Plus. Too close. There we go. I have depth perception issues apparently. Okay, so I'd love to know a little bit about you guys as I'm talking. I can see your scroll. I can see what's scrolling on. So I'd love to know who's here, what your business is, because it helps me know how to tailor this broadcast. So tell me a little bit about you and about your business. And what I've done a couple times on Periscope so far, and it seems to be really working, I'm getting really good feedback on it, is I've kind of live blogged, right? So I've taken my recent blog post, which is static, right? You post it on the internet and it just kind of sits there, and hopefully people comment and there's some stuff. And I love blogging. Blogging's been a massive benefit to my business, regular blogging, but it's static. So I'm taking this opportunity to talk through my blog posts. And so Personal Rev, you're Bina, and to career coach with high value women professionals. Love that. Lots of people in my tribe are high value women professionals. So definitely follow Bina. So what I do is I take the blog post, a chosen blog post, and I kind of talk through it so we can kind of chat through it together instead of just you hearing me talk, like writing about what I want to write about. So today I've actually got a new guest post. So Danielle's specialty is video marketing and online strategy. And Danielle's got a great, I guess, is it a nonprofit, Danielle? Young Moms Club? I'm not sure if it's nonprofit or not, but it definitely helps young mothers. Danielle was a young mother. I was a young mother. We've actually talked about this ages ago. I don't even know if you remember that, Danielle, but I was 20 when I had my first son, and it's a challenge, so you need support. So Danielle runs an organization to support young mothers. Much needed. So for profit, but not technically. Okay. So today we're going to talk about my latest blog post is on social media today, which I've kind of was like lagging behind the crowd and guest posting in other sites, but I was getting a new website. I'm actually still getting a new website. I'm in the process of getting a new website done. And I wanted, like they said, you need to have more media logos and stuff. And of course they need to be legitimate. So I kind of did a mad rush to do some guest posts, and it was a lot easier than I thought, first of all, to get some guest posts. I got Huffington Post, Social Media Today, Social Media Examiner, Blog Her. There's just a bunch of different blog posts that I was able to get approved to blog on, which means I could use those logos on my new website, which gives me credibility. So that's something I talk a lot about if you've listened to any of my webinars, about how important it is to position yourself as an expert and to let people know how credible you are in your business. So I've done the same myself. And who here is guest? If you guys have guest posted, tell me where you're guest posting, because I'm always looking for new ideas. So I applied to Huffington Post, got approved. And listen, I've been blogging for 2 years every week, so that might have helped me get approved more quickly. I've been very consistently blogging every single freaking week. And actually I'm increasing that now. I'm going to increase it to 2 blog posts a week this month, and July I'm actually taking guest blogs, so it'll be 3 blog posts a week. So if any of you guys want to write a guest blog for me, send me an email, and Karen@KarenYankovich.com. I have my email here. And life hack, they want you to post 2 times a month. Yeah, so that's a challenge, right? Especially if you have to write new content for every time. A lot of them, like Social Media Today, this is what I'm going to talk about today, is unique to them, but you could share your existing blog post. Same with Huffington Post. You can share your existing content. And I'm all about reusing stuff. We talked about this in a Periscope broadcast, I think yesterday. We talked about reusing Periscope broadcast. So today, the topic of the blog post that just got posted today on social media today is how to stand out from the crowd on LinkedIn. And just so you know, this posted overnight, and so it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and it's already gotten 56 Facebook likes, 419 tweets, and 62 LinkedIn posts, and a couple of Google pluses. So it's, that got my name. They got my name in front of 500-600 people that never would have known about me otherwise. I mean, they're not necessarily on my list yet, but it's about, isn't that awesome? So it's about kind of just warming up your audience to letting them know who you are. So when the time comes that you are offering something, they know who you are, they feel confident in you, they've seen your name all over the place, they're ready to buy from you. Love all the hearts. Thanks for all the yellow and pink hearts. Keep them going, keep them going. All right, so today we're talking about how to stand out from the crowd on LinkedIn. And I'm going to look to my left a little bit here because that's where the screen is with the blog post. But many of us know, certainly if you follow me, you know that I'm always telling you need to be on LinkedIn. That's where your business is. That's where your next client is. But you need to. But my goal is to help you stand out from the crowd, right? To stand out from. There's 300 million people on LinkedIn. 300 million. So there's probably a lot of them that are just like you. So this week's blog post on social media today is about how to stand out from that crowd. And the first thing that needs to be said here is, and by the way, if you guys think this is interesting, I'd love for you to share this broadcast with your friends and your tribe. So if you're on an iPhone, you can share it with your Twitter following. And by the way, remind me to do that if I'm watching your broadcast. I have like 50,000 Twitter followers, so I've shared a couple of Periscopes on my Twitter following. Share it to Twitter. If you're on Android, share it with your Periscope tribe. I would love that if you think you have a tribe that would be interested in hearing about how to stand out on LinkedIn. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that you need to have the basic foundations on your profile right. You have to have a summary that makes people understand who you are, right? So what's your story? What's your why? I'm Karen Yankovich, and I'm so passionate about blah, 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 right? So that's the first thing you need to do. You need to make sure you have an effective headline that stands out from the crowd. And a headline doesn't say CEO. A headline isn't a headline doesn't say I am a certified financial planner. It says that I help women who are retiring build a strong portfolio so they can retire comfortably. That to me is a better headline than I'm a financial planner, right? So you have to have a great headline. And if you don't have some of these pieces in place, if you go to my website, KarenYankovich.com, there's a free video series there, the top 3 things you need to do on LinkedIn, and it tells you what to do, there's videos, so it tells you step by step how to create that headline. And then a fully fleshed out experience section. So we're going to assume you've got all that in place, that you've got your LinkedIn profile in place already. And now we're going to talk about how to stand out from the crowd, okay? And it's going to take that profile and we're going to just kind of give it some extra loving. So the first thing you need to do is exactly what I already said. Niche your profile down to speak to a specific group of people. So if you're a coach, even if you're a life coach, even if you're a relationship coach, even if your coaching practice is really specific, think about your ideal clients and who they are and talk to that person only on LinkedIn. Okay, and I know that seems a little counterintuitive, and those of us, I know a few of you on here have taken some courses with me on how to niche down your ideal client, and it seems crazy when you can help everybody that you would only want to help women over 50 who are looking to retire. But if I say I'm a certified financial planner, there's 50 million of me on LinkedIn, right? So what I want you to do is think about, make it speak to me. If I am a woman over 50 or over 60 who is looking to retire, now your profile's speaking to me. So niche your profile down. Tell people very specifically who you help. So add a few words to your headline. I assist small 1 to 2 person businesses to succeed, right? That might be speaking to you. Jennifer! Oh my gosh, Jennifer Covington's here. This might be her inaugural Periscope. If not, I'm happy to have you here either way. I just watched your webinar, Jennifer. It was awesome. So the second thing I want you to do is add media or a link to your summary section that talks about your experiences and your successes with that niched audience. Okay, so in your summary section and in the media you add, make sure that it talks about what what helps you stay niched down? How do you help people in that niche, right? So include that. It's really, really important. And use, add a product, project or publication, right? You can use LinkedIn to your best advantage. You don't have to say, if it's not, doesn't have to necessarily be a publication like where you have a publisher like Random House. A publication is a blog post, right? So use a blog post and put it in the LinkedIn section as a publication that directly relates to the subset desires that achieve that, that want to achieve that goal that you are the expert in. Okay, so the first tip in standing out from the crowd in LinkedIn is niche your profile. And when you think it's niche it down even more. Be really, really specific with who you speak to. Danielle, thanks so much for sharing this with so many people. I wish I could give you hearts for that. Okay, so second of all, and that's, by the way, this is a great, if you guys are Periscoping, what I did was I asked people if they would be interested in this to share this with their followers on Periscope, and it brings me a wider audience. And I'll remember that when I'm on Danielle's next broadcast, and it just kind of shares the love. So how you share, Jennifer, I think if you're on an iPhone, you either swipe right or swipe left, and it'll bring up a box and it'll say share with your audience, or share with your Twitter followers. If you're on an Android phone, I think you swipe up, and then it gives you the option. On Android, you can't share with Twitter, just with your Periscope audience. So thank you guys for doing this. Okay, the second thing that you can do that can stand out from the crowd, and this sounds so easy, but people are not doing it, is use multimedia. Okay, LinkedIn gave us the ability a couple years ago to use, thanks Danielle, so to use and dream this life. Thank you guys for helping everybody else out. I appreciate it. So use multimedia in your LinkedIn profile. And it's so easy. If your profile's open, okay, on the top of each section, on the top right of each section, there's a little plus sign. You click that little plus sign and it opens up a URL box, and you just add the URL, or you can upload a file. So in each section, in your summary, if you have a video that talks about what you do, add that video to your summary. If you have a couple of blog posts that are your most popular, add that to your summary. Adding media to every section you can makes your profile stand out from the crowd. It also gives you links back to your website. It lets people know that you're for real. You're not just talking about this stuff. You're giving them links to find this stuff, right? So use multimedia. Hey, Crail, nice to see you here. I don't think I'm saying your name right, but someday you're going to have to tell me how to say your name. So use multimedia. It's a way for visitors to interact with you. It's a way for them to kind of see you in real life, especially if you have videos. Okay, I have, a bunch of videos. I did get it right. Awesome. Thanks. I have a bunch of videos, and I try to have relevant ones on my LinkedIn profile on a regular basis. It's so easy to do, and people don't do it. They just don't do it. So think about a way to add media to each one of your sections. It makes you stand out from the crowd, and that's what you want to do, right? You want, when somebody's checking you out, you want to make it really easy for them to find out how great you are, especially if you can stand out from the other guys that are checking out, right? And then the third thing, which I see more and more people doing, but I think it still can be more effective, is take the time to create long-form posts on LinkedIn. So we talked about blog posts, right? We talked about, obviously this is a blog post that I'm talking through right now. You can repurpose your blog posts on LinkedIn, and it just gives you a wider audience for that same content. And I'm all about making life easier with social media. I'm all about creating a social media process for you that makes it really easier. So what I do, this is exactly what I do. I do a blog post every week, and then about 4 or 5 weeks later, that same blog post goes up on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn long form post. I put at the bottom, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, and if you're not connected with me, connect with me. Here's my LinkedIn profile. There it is, linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich. Look at my long form. I do it 5 weeks later, Crail. I do it 5 weeks later. I let time go because I want people to forget. Like, I don't want them to see the same thing over and over in the same week. I kind of repurpose it about 5 weeks later. So you create this, you take your blog post. I take my blog post, I literally copy it word for word. You can check out on my LinkedIn profile how I do that. And then at the bottom, I put, this was originally posted on my website. So what is a long form post? So Cynthia, when you go to LinkedIn, you'll see, Danielle, I'm going to come back to that question. That's a good question. when you go to LinkedIn, you'll see that you have an option to write an update or to write a post. When you click the box to write a post, it pops up a page similar to a like a blog page. Like if you have WordPress, similar to your WordPress page, where you get some formatting options and you can upload stuff to your you can upload stuff to your website to like that you can from your blog post. You can upload media and pictures and images and do formatting of bolding and titles and stuff. So when you click that little post as opposed to an update, it gives you that option. And then you just type it in and you can write new ones. So Danielle, here's the thing. That's a really good question, and I have asked that question to a number of people, like 50 probably. And I can't really get a consensus answer, so I'm gonna be flat out up front with that. But my understanding is that it doesn't. Okay, so I put in the bottom of it that it's repurposed. Okay, I have not seen any pinging from Google, and the people that are most expert, that I consider most expert in, Danielle, you know more about it than I do because it's not HTML. Because you're saying it's not HTML. The people that are more expert in it than I are the people that are telling me it doesn't ping. So there are people that say it could hurt you on Google, and I don't want to say it won't because I don't really know that for sure. But I've asked some really smart people, and I'm being told that it doesn't, and that we're all foolish if we don't repurpose our content on LinkedIn. It gives us a much bigger audience. So if you post like I have a large email list. I send it out to my email every week. I post it on my Facebook page. I post it in a bunch of different places, and they are lovely. Jennifer, just tap the screen twice to give hearts. Give me lots of hearts. Whenever you tap the screen twice, it gives you hearts. So you're asking, do I post it to LinkedIn when it initially posts to? No. I post it on my blog post, and my personal process is about 5 weeks later, that's when it posts to LinkedIn. Okay, so you could change a few lines. You could change the section headers. I've actually talked to my assistant does it for me. So how easy is that? You pay your virtual assistant, the content's already done, you just make it a part of their process to upload it to LinkedIn once a week. So every, I don't even remember what day it is, you upload it to LinkedIn. And what it does is it establishes you as an expert on LinkedIn, because there's lots of people that are going to see you on LinkedIn that have never seen your website. So it gives you that content, that extra information there. So it's really cool. And if you add the picture, like I always add a featured image on each blog post, so I add that same featured image on LinkedIn. I don't know if there's a good day, Da Vinci Diva. I don't know if there's a good day. I think I post it on LinkedIn on Tuesdays. Just because I like to have stagger when content's coming out. I'm going to dive into LinkedIn. You should, Danielle. You should. Call me when you're ready. I'll help you out. Or keep watching my Periscopes. There are going to be a lot of LinkedIn stuff. But so if they see it on my website, people see it on my website, but an entirely different audience sees it on LinkedIn. It's okay. We talked a little bit in a minute. I think it's okay to that the content can be repurposed on LinkedIn. I am always looking for the answer to that question, and the answers I'm getting right now is that it is absolutely okay to repurpose the same content. That's what I do. I'm repurposing the same content, so the same piece of content goes out. Listen, you know what? The Huffington Post goes out. You could do 2 weeks. You could do whatever you want, Crayal. That's just what I do. The Huffington Post is all repurposed content. Like I just got approved to blog for the Huffington Post, and they're not really looking for new stuff. Social Media Today, that's where this article that we're talking about here is coming from. If you go to Social Media Today, you'll see this article went live this morning. This happens to be a fresh article, a new article, but Social Media Today has the opportunity, gives me the option to pull my blogs into their website with an RSS feed. So there's a lot of people that are repurposing content, and I think as entrepreneurs we worry a little bit about, are we going to get pinged? And I worry too, but you look at these big names that are doing it. I say I worry about the Google ping, but I love getting my name out there more. So yes, you offer up old blogs to the Huffington Post. Yes, that's exactly what you do. You don't have to do that. You can write new ones, but they absolutely accept your old posts. When I pitched them to be a blogger for them, I gave them a pitch and said, I think this would be a great blog. Here's a recent blog post. Took them right to my website. I think it would be great for your audience. And they said, yeah, we think so too. Give it a post it for us. So again, we're all kind of figuring our way out here. So the question, what do you think is better, putting the whole or partial so they go to your blog to see the rest? I think you have to put the whole thing. I think if you're doing a newsletter, or if you're sharing it, like, here's what I say about that. This post that I wrote for social media today, I wrote this post for social media today. If I was going to put that on my blog post or in a newsletter, I would put the first paragraph and send them back to social media today, because that was what I committed to for social media today. So some of the bigger names like Forbes and Harvard Business Review, Entrepreneur Magazine, they have the copyright to your stuff, right? So you can't repost the same content, you do the paragraph. But I think when it's the other way around, when it's on your website and you're sharing it with those other places and they're going to publish it for you, they expect to have the whole article, right? They expect to have the whole article. So it's your copyright. You can do what you want with it, and you give it to, like in my case, Social Media Today or Huffington Post or LinkedIn. So coming back to Circle or LinkedIn. So all of these articles, assuming you have the copyright, all of these articles can be shared on LinkedIn as long form posts. And your profile will showcase the most recent 3. So do at least 3, so that you'll see those 3 boxes will up across the top of your profile, right? And once you do that, it kind of, again, our goal here is to stand out from the crowd. So it instantly makes you stand out on the crowd. So congratulations on HuffPo. What's your advice for getting them to publish you? You know what? I don't know if I can speak intelligently about that. The reality is I've been blogging for years. I have like a year and a half, 2 years worth of weekly blog posts. So when they checked me out, I think that I check out because I had a lot of, Crail, thank you for sharing this, because I have a lot of blogs already. So I would say be consistent in your own stuff. And then you just email Ariana@HuffingtonPost.com. And I was very simple and clear. Da Vinci Diva, thank you for sharing this. I was simple and clear. I didn't give them paragraphs of information. I said, I love your new book. I love your new book. I loved your interview with Katie Couric. And I love your publication. And I think that I would love to be a part of your publication. And I think I've got this article that I think might be helpful to you. I put a couple of lines. Thank you, everybody, for sharing this. A couple of lines in there about who I am. I'm a social media strategist, and I help entrepreneurs and small businesses use social media profitably. So I put a few lines in about me, but I made it very short and to the point. Do not add paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of stuff. They don't really care about you. They want to know what's in it for them. So I talked a little bit about how I help entrepreneurs and what my goal is, and then what I think that article would do for them. And I'm sure, I don't even know if Ariana Huffington actually sees this, but it's Ariana@HuffingtonPost.com is the email you send it to. I'm not really sure if it's her, but I acted as if I was speaking to her directly, and I made it very professional but casual. So that's what I did. I don't know if that's my advice, but that's what I did. And I don't know that it got published. I just submitted it this morning, the actual article. So I feel so behind on social media. How do you learn to step it up quickly? You know what, Asulam, I don't think you need to worry about stepping it up quickly. I think you need to find what platforms work for you and leverage it. If you look for, actually it's on my YouTube channel now. So if you go to my YouTube channel, it's Karen Yankovich. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see some of my Periscopes I'm actually uploading to YouTube. And there was one from yesterday that I talked about how if you're using Periscope, how you can use this one piece of content and it shares to Twitter, right? It shares to Twitter automatically if you have that setting set. So it goes right out to Twitter. You can save it, you can save the video and upload it as native video to Facebook, and you can add it to a YouTube channel, all for one piece of content, all for turning on your on button and talking, right? So I would say do whatever you can to simplify the process, and that's one of the things I'm talking about here today. How do you stand out? And one of the ways you stand out is duplicate your content. Use LinkedIn to do long form posts. Take the blogs you're already doing on your website and recreate them on LinkedIn. Do your best to leverage the content that you spend so much time creating. Okay, and if you're another piece of advice, Asulam, I would definitely say blog, because what happens if you blog every week? It starts to establish you as an expert, but it also gives you a foundation for your social media content, right? So my blog post process is not finished until I've written 3 tweets to that blog post. So I write the blog post and I write 3 tweets, and then that becomes part of my social media cache. And I don't try to find content every day. I have banks of content that run on a regular basis, and then I pull things from the news about what can get posted live. So I guess the point is, do your best to leverage content. Pick a platform that you love to be on, and then just be on it. Be on it, as often as you're comfortable being on it, and engage and really build a tribe that way. So in doing social media for a client and using Buffer, any other advice for time saving efficiency? I love social oomph for my clients. So I do social media for clients, and I don't really use Buffer right now. I use Hootsuite, but I also use social oomph. And the reason that I use social oomph is it gives me endless cues. So I said to you that for each blog post, I write 3 tweets to each blog post. Those 3 tweets go into an Excel spreadsheet. So that Excel spreadsheet grows every week by 3, right? So if I have 100, I have 130. Hootsuite does not let you pre-schedule images, but Social Oomph does. So if you just like platform, just stick to the ones you love. I am saying that absolutely stick to the ones you love. So DaVinci Diva, that's why I like Social Oomph. Social Oomph lets you post the image. So what it does is you take those blog post cues, and we'll talk about images in a second. We take the blog post cue, you upload it to Social Oomph, you say send out 1 tweet from this bit of content, from this queue of content every 7 hours, and when that tweet goes out, put it to the back of the pile, so it never runs dry. You never have to reload it. So you can continually add content to it. So every week when you have a new blog post, you add 3 more tweets to that queue of blog post tweets. Then you have another queue. Maybe that queue is of your images, right? So you can create a queue of images of your quotes, or quotes from your books, or whatever. Same kind of thing. You create it up, you set it up, you send it out, and then once it goes out, it goes to the back of the queue. It never runs dry. So you have to be careful. Like, you definitely want to have a lot of you and your personality and personal interaction on these platforms. But stuff like blog posts and stuff about your stuff that's going out, that stuff never goes old. It never gets old, right? So there's no reason you can't set some stuff like that up on autopilot, and that's why I love Social Oomph for that over Buffer, and then mainly because I don't ever have to reload it. So that's like my biggest tip for my social media for my clients. I do use Hootsuite too, though, because I like being able to see all my clients on one dashboard and see what I need to do to interact with them and not have to be logging in and out of a million different dashboards. So I use a combination of Hootsuite and Social Oomph, and I use some other tools also, but that's primarily how my content goes out. Right, I like Hootsuite. Yes, it's spelled Social Oomph, O-O-M-P-H. Yep, that's how it's spelled. It's awesome. By the way, it's the paid version. So the free version doesn't give you that endless queue thing. You have to get the paid version, but the paid version's $15 a month. $15 a month. You're going to be coming back to me in a month and saying, how did I live without this? So for $15 a month, it basically takes the place of a part-time social media manager, right? Because it just sends that content out regularly. It's awesome. It's awesome. Lane is Social Oomph rocks. Can you manage more than one client in Social Oomph? You absolutely can. I've not hit the limit yet, and I've had a lot of clients in there at one time. I have a lot of clients. In fact, I even take on like friends and stuff. I'm like, I got it, send me some content. So I don't really manage their Twitter, but they can write content. I upload it for them and send it out on the schedules, and it doesn't cost me any more. So I probably had up to 20 different Twitter accounts at one point in Social Oomph. So I don't know if there's a limit. I haven't reached it yet. Your husband makes you do his, right? So that's huge. That's a great one. That's what I love about Periscope. We get to have conversations that are relevant, even though we have a general theme. So I'm going to get back to my general theme for a second, just because I want to make sure we wrapped it up. So the things we were talking about, and then we can do a Q&A for as long as you want. But we talked about how to stand out from the crowd on LinkedIn today. It is my Social Media Today post that went out today on Social Media Today, and I kind of like to talk through my blog posts on Periscope. I think it kind of gives me a chance to go deeper into them, right? I took all this time to create the content. I love using this platform to go deeper into my blog posts. And thank you so much for all the hearts. I really appreciate Jameson Eva. Thank you so much for inviting your followers, and thanks so much for all the hearts. I love them, love them. So how to stand out from the crowd on LinkedIn was the topic today of the blog scope that I did. And the 3 ways to do that is to niche your profile down to speak to a very specific group of people. to use multimedia so that you're giving your profile more depth. People can click right through it and see your videos and really hear your voice, feel your heart, right? It really gives you a way to stand out from the crowd. Gosh, I love all the hearts. And then take time to create at least 3 long-form posts on LinkedIn so that you've filled up that section above the summary, because it takes 3 to do that. And you can go in and do that for the next 3 days. Just take your last 3 blog posts and pop them in over the next 3 days. And again, if you want, look at mine, connect with me. I'm linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich. I don't know if you can see that. Connect with me. You can look and see how I format mine. Copy the end of it. I mean, just copy and paste it. This blog post was originally posted on my website. You know, like I'm all about that. If it's going to make your life easier, feel free to copy it and get 3 long post blogs in. What was what again? My LinkedIn URL? Here, I'll put it up here. It's linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich. So connect with me there, and you can see what I've done with my long form blog posts. And now I've got a lot of them. Would you use Periscope video for multimedia in LinkedIn? That's a really good question. I have not yet. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with using Periscope video. It's the formatting, right? So when you have a YouTube video, it's horizontal, and with a Periscope video, it's vertical. So you've got, like, I do not want you to spend a ton of time on creating your content. So I'm not going to sit here and say Periscope every day and then spend an hour editing the video. I just want you to upload it. That being said, I could definitely see a use for a Periscope video, especially if Periscope is a big part of your audience. If you have a Periscope channel, okay, I'm making this up as we go here because this is new. You guys are hearing this, seeing my brain in action here. Make yourself an experience, right? So create a new experience. Like my show is actually called Ask Karen Why. So I can have an experience of host of Ask Karen Why Periscope show that goes out every Tuesday or something like that, right? So you can create an experience and put a couple of your most popular Periscopes in as media in that experience, and then in there you describe, you know, I love Periscope and I use it to reach a wider audience. And every Tuesday I have a Periscope show that helps people learn how to get better tickets when they're traveling, right? Whatever the heck it is you do. So you can create an experience in LinkedIn. Say you're the host of your Periscope show. I absolutely want you to do that. And add the video that way. So that's one way you could use Periscope video on LinkedIn. I kind of like that. What else? Does anybody else have any Periscope or LinkedIn questions? We talked about Twitter and scheduling and everything here too today. Steal it. I like I said, that's how my brain works, and that's why I actually love doing one-on-one with people, because when I get to brainstorm with people, we come up with some awesome things. But totally put that on. I wonder if I'm going to have to think about that now. Maybe I'll add that to my LinkedIn experience. I live in New Jersey, Da Vinci Diva. I live in New Jersey. So it is hot and not quite so sunny here today. But I am going to, I'm actually going to, oh, you're from Queens, nice. You know, I actually saw something recently. Yeah, let's have coffee. When you Periscope, how do you see the comments and hearts? You see them, I see them. You don't see them on the video, on the recording. Oh, but you live in San Diego. Okay, so you don't see them on the recording. You see them when you watch, if you watch the replay, you'll see the comments and the hearts. But if you watch the recording, like when it saves to my device and I upload it to my YouTube channel, you lose the hearts and the comments. Now, Danielle, I don't know if Danielle's still here, but Danielle was here earlier. She had a great way of connecting your iPad to your computer and then recording it there, and then somehow that saves the comments and the hearts, because I'm not crazy about the fact that we missed the comments and the hearts. Danielle just shared that with me yesterday or the day before, Danielle Ford. So check her Periscope out and ask her that question. Tell her I said to ask her that question. I forget which, I didn't test it yet. I'm not sure exactly how she connects it, but that would save it. So when you were broadcasting on Periscope, how do you see the comments to see? You see them. What do you mean? You just see them on your screen. I actually Periscope with my iPad, not my phone, because to me, the phone is too small to see the comments. I like to see the comments big, so I'm actually Periscoping right now. When I'm in my office, I Periscope with my iPad so that the comments are big enough for me to be able to see. That's really the main reason. Besides, I like my phone is an Android phone, and I like the iOS version better. When you started Periscope, did you just jump in or start sharing info, or? I'm kind of a jumper, Susan. I'm kind of a jumper, but because I'm a social media consultant, I always want there to have some purpose to the Periscope. So I don't even remember what my first one does. But how does your iPad hear you? I have a microphone attached to my iPad, but your iPad has a microphone. Your iPad has a microphone either way. I actually just got this new microphone. Today, this is actually the first Periscope that I'm doing with the microphone, but you don't need the microphone. It just hears you. It's magic. So my first Periscope was basically, I think I just said this is my first Periscope, you know, and like I introduced myself. I talked a little bit about who I am and what I do. You know, make sure that you know, for me, I actually have a pretty big Twitter following. So for me, I joined Periscope a few weeks ago and had never actually did a broadcast. But the first time I did a broadcast, I already had like 200 followers because I had gotten Periscope, and because I have such a large Twitter following, it lets you know who you're following on Twitter if they have a Periscope. So I kind of had a little bit of an advantage there, but I just started talking. And that's kind of pretty much what I've done, everyone. Now I kind of have a theme. My newest thing that I'm going to try, so this is the third like blog scope where I've talked through my blog posts. But if you have blog posts, there's one or two for you every week that you can do. Just talk through your blog posts. I'm actually going to try tomorrow, I think, so keep your eyes out for this. I've done a lot of, in some of the groups I'm in, the business groups I'm in, I do LinkedIn profile reviews. So I think what I'm going to try and do is point my iPad at my laptop and do LinkedIn profile for reviews. So people online that are watching me on Periscope, if they want me to look at their LinkedIn profile and give them some suggestions on it. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. So I'm always trying to think of fun things to do with Periscope that have a purpose, but also are some fun things, right? But I heard a really good, I heard something yesterday that really struck me, and that is that as much as we're finding great business uses for Periscope, the purpose of Periscope was like it's peeking into your life, right? It's a Periscope. So I want to kind of temper all the business stuff with some not so business stuff, but also have it. So one of the ideas I had was, because they were saying, you like, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the channels where you can, there's one guy that basically periscopes the Eiffel Tower lighting up every night, right? And there's just so many cool around, like seeing things all over the world kind of thing. So I think that's really cool. And because I live in New Jersey and because we get such a bad rap, I think I'm going to start showing you guys some of my favorite New Jersey spots. Like I live in the mountains. I live on a beautiful lake. So I think I'm going to start sharing some. Yes, Euromaster. I actually had to unfollow him because he was posting so many times. Oh, Julio Base. I don't know him. I'll have to look for that. I'm going to write that down. But a guy from Rome does the sunset every night. How cool is that, right? So I'm going to start doing a little bit of you know, some New Jersey blog, like, you know, the real New Jersey or Karen's New Jersey or whatever. Tomorrow I'm actually going, I have a house at the shore. I'm actually going to the beach tomorrow for a week or 5 or 6 days. So I'll be periscoping from there, but maybe I'll show you some of my favorite beautiful spots at the Jersey Shore. So I'm going to kind of use Periscope for business, but also, you know, like little sneak peeks into the world around me. So, yeah, that's my plan. So we'll see how that goes. What do you guys, is there anything that I haven't done yet, like that you guys think might, you'd have to visit? Yeah, let's do it. I'm in. Maybe we should have like a Periscope meetup. Actually, I'm meeting up tonight. I'm going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting tonight. And I think I just got a Facebook message from somebody who's supposed to go with me saying, where did this day go? Nicole, if you're on here, I don't know if that means you're not coming anymore, but I was supposed to meet up with Nicole Laloya, who also has a great Periscope channel. And if she's there, or even if she's not there, well, maybe we'll Periscope from the meeting. But it's another great thing to do is to be, you know, so hit me up. I'm actually going to be in Chicago in mid-July, but maybe there'll be some overlap. But anybody in Chicago? Anybody going? I'm going to the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event in Chicago in July. So I'm a little nervous about that. I don't know if you guys have been to one of those, but that's what I'm doing in July. So you'll definitely be seeing some Periscopes from that, hopefully. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I kind of got a little roped into it. I've never really been a huge follower of Tony Robbins. While I love his stuff, I'm not a huge follower, but a couple of my, you know, two of my business friends who I've never met in person, and both of these people I can pick up the phone right now and call them and say, do you like these shoes or these shoes with this outfit, right? So they're going, and they talked me into going, so I'm going to get to meet them in person and have a blast. I'm hoping to have a blast. I'm looking forward to meeting my friends in person and checking out what Tony Robbins does. So I like the idea of mixing business with personal on Periscope. I think so too. Listen, I don't know that you really want to see what I had for lunch and that I need to order, what my list of stuff is that I need to order on Amazon later. But I think that sharing a little behind the scenes, that's what Periscope's all about, right? It's about sharing the world around you. So I want to try and incorporate some of that, not just be all businessy. Firewalk, yes. Yes. Have you done it? I'm nervous about that. Has anybody done that? Makes you seem more approachable. You have done it? What was it like? Jameson Eva, I don't know what to call you, but have you done that firewalk too? I don't know. It didn't hurt. How can it not hurt? I don't get it. Okay. I'm a believer. I'm going to try it. Hopefully maybe I'll get somebody to Periscope it in end of July. Jameson Eva, come to Chicago in July. And I think you kind of have to do that. You walk fast. Okay. I'll be walking fast. So what else is happening with everybody? Anything else we should talk about? Anybody want to tell me about what they're doing here on Periscope? Like, what's your favorite way of using Periscope? Anything of interest? Or are we wrapping up? All right, wrapping it up it is. Maybe I'll see you tonight from the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce interviewing my members. That's good, Jamie. That's a really good idea. I'm trying to do some meetups with people and do some dual Periscopes. I thought that might be fun because I need to get away from behind my computer sometimes. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. It was great to hang out with you guys today. I will be back tonight from the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce. And if I can, get over there. I'm sure I'll be over there, though. I actually just said I was going to do it, right? So now I have to do it. Networking, doing some in-person networking, important to my business, and I'm sure it's important to yours. Thanks so much for being here with you guys today. I'm happy this was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye.